Hello everyone, I hope you are all having a great day. If not, then I hope your day is at least good because the latest trailer for Godzilla -1 dropped yesterday. You probably have seen the trailer multiple times, and I have to say that this movie looks amazing so far. And that's not all. We also got the official list of characters and actors who will be in the movie, so we will be taking a look at that. But before we do that, there is something you need to know about Godzilla -1 that will blow your mind. Stay tuned to find out what it is. The trailer starts off like the first teaser, where we see masses of people fleeing in horror from something, and we see the same little girl searching for her parents. We hear a little bit of dialogue here where someone wonders, what is it? And someone else answers, I don't know, something huge. Then we see two train drivers shouting as they see a train car flying towards them. The trailer has that same feel from Cloverfield, which does not reveal Godzilla right away. It is building up to Godzilla while also setting up the mood for this movie. We also confirmed that the one that held the train car was Godzilla, as we see in the next few scenes. We do see Godzilla grabbing that same train car with his mouth. The next shot we get is Godzilla emerging from a dust cloud, followed by our first main character, Noriko Ishii, played by Minami Hamabi. A character bio says, a tough woman living alone in a devastated post-war Japan. She encounters Shikishima on her way home from the war. It could be she was a military medic that helped heal the Japanese soldiers with their injuries and was on her way home until Godzilla showed up, which we see through the reflection of the window Noriko is looking out from. What makes this even more horrifying is the idea that Noriko could be inside that same train car that Godzilla snatches with his mouth and throws it at the incoming train. Before we switch to Godzilla grabbing the train car, we hear Noriko wondering to herself if the monster walking towards her is Godzilla. Of course, we do know that this is Godzilla, but this is just a reflexive response of gazing at a creature so big and strong that it becomes impossible to grasp something like Godzilla exists. We see more of the civilians fleeing for their lives, but we get a longer version of this scene as we see Godzilla actually crushing the people, running from Godzilla, advancing further inland towards Tokyo. This is followed by a huge explosion in the shape of an atomic bomb. In the foreground, we see people looking at the explosion caused by Godzilla as if they know they cannot avoid their bleak fate. I really like the ground-up shots as it makes the scenes feel more personal. It's as if we are experiencing this tragedy along with these civilians. We see a shot of Tokyo in the aftermath, followed by Godzilla swimming under a battleship. We then get our next character, Koichi Shikishima, played by Ryunosuke Kamiki, looking at the bodies of people lying in front of him. This is the same Shikishima that Noriko encounters in a ruined Japan. His character bio says, although he survived the war, he lost his parents and met Noriko in a ruined Japan. We see a fishing boat and Shikishima fishing. Throughout this transition in the trailer, we hear him wondering, why were we called out here? There is probably a scene where he is summoned to action to fight for his country once again, this time out in the Pacific Ocean to fight Godzilla. However, there is more to him later in the trailer. We then see a slide of microfilms provided by the United States War Office, suggesting the United States will have a role in this film in some way. It would not be too surprising if the film does show some US military and government agents who are already aware of Godzilla's existence, much like Dr. Serizawa and Monarch in Godzilla 2014, and Kayoko and Patterson in Shin Godzilla. We then get our next character, Kenji Noda, played by Hidetaka Yoshioka, who seems to be briefing about the latest Godzilla activity and location. We also hear him saying, there is something the government is hiding from us. This makes the suspicion of the US government concealing information more believable. Or maybe he is referring to the Japanese government, that maybe they know something about Godzilla that they are not telling the public. This is followed by someone saying somebody has to do it. This is implying someone is going to offer themselves to make the biggest sacrifice. In the next scenes, we see Kenji Noda on a shipping vessel standing next to our next character, revealed to be Akitsu, played by Kuronosuke Sasaki, who are watching what could be Godzilla attacking the Navy fleet possibly sent to kill him. We see this happening in the next shot with Godzilla's hand, reaching out grab the command deck of Japanese naval ship after the shot of Shikishima, grieving at seeing his hometown destroyed. We see more of Godzilla's destruction as we see his atomic breath fired from under the waters, destroying one of the battleships similarly to Godzilla vs. Kong, when Godzilla blew up the aircraft carrier, sending Kong plunging for the water. Then we get a terrified Sosaku Tachibana, played by Munetaka Aoki, shouting, "Everyone's dead," followed with a shipping vessel overturned, and we see Sumiko Ota, played by Sakura Ando, telling Shikishima in a fit of anger that he is a disgrace. We see a boat thrown inland, and the scene fades to Shikishima badly injured with him saying, "That monster will never forgive us." Then we see Godzilla make landfall, and the military either dead or scattered fleeing for their lives. We see the title card Godzilla -1, and then we see Godzilla burned and scaly as he roars in agony, and the trailer ends there. From what we can tell, this is Godzilla in the middle of his painful transformation as a side effect from the nuke that was dropped on him deliberately. I say deliberately because I honestly think the United States will have a role, once again knowing the monster existed, and Godzilla wants revenge on the ones that deformed him. That is why we hear Shikishima saying the monster will never forgive them. Godzilla felt he was wronged and has a need for vengeance. This is going back to the idea of the original 1954 film that Godzilla is also a victim of the atomic bomb. Only this time we see the result of his transformation right before our very eyes. Overall, the trailer looks scary. There is definitely a lot of influence from the Monsterverse put into this movie, as well as some Shin Godzilla here and there. Godzilla certainly has more personality to his movements, and the special effects look amazing. Since Toho has been working with Legendary Entertainment in making Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, it would make sense if they learned a few tricks for this movie while working on the TV show, and if that is the case, it looks a lot better than it did with Shin Godzilla. Godzilla does not look rigid at all. His body is conveying a lot of animalistic characteristics in this one, which I really like. It also looks like there will be a character-driven story that will resonate with people more. My previous issues with the Reiwa era movies have been that the characters were really dull, and most of the time there is no main character for the story to focus on, so it was hard to really figure out what the point of the story was if there were no characters to care about. From what I am seeing for Godzilla -1, there will be characters that we will get to know on a personal level and care about. I hope that is the case. This trailer, I give a thumbs up for getting me excited. What do you think of the trailer? Did this make you eager for the movie? What did you enjoy or dislike about the trailer? Leave a comment in the comments section of your opinions on the new Godzilla -1 trailer. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you all in another exciting video. Bye!